Shalom, shalom for part 3. Now we actually get into the good stuff where I'm going to go over everything that you watched in the episode, hopefully break down some things that may have been a little confusing to you, talk about some really good stuff, and let you know which parts of scriptures we actually watched today. So in the very beginning there, the reference to the new star, did you figure it out? I think you probably did too. That's a little nod to the birth of Jesus. The scripture that Mary Magdalene's dad is quoting to her comes from Isaiah chapter 43. It is the very first verse of Isaiah 43. The religious leaders at that time were caught up in their oral traditions and their outwardly appearances. They would look down on the lower society of the Jewish community. They saw them as unholy and wicked. The purpose of Jesus' coming was to fix all this misconception. Did you notice how Nicodemus is very rattled at what happened when he tried to perform the exorcism of Lilith? He got the incense. He said all the names. He did exactly what he thought he was supposed to do in order for this to work. And then those 7 demons came out of the mouth of Mary and said, "You have no power here, preacher." This rattles him to the core. So much so that the next day when he's talking to some of his students, he even claims that only God himself could be the one to heal that woman. I want you to hang on to that line for the next episode. The way we are introduced to Simon, Peter, and Andrew is interesting. They're caught up in a gambling scheme, or at least it looks like they're trying to swindle some other people out of money during the fight. Being so far in tax debt has driven them to start doing things that they know are sinful, but they're just so desperate that they feel like they have no other choice. Turning over a fellow Jew to the Romans would have been extremely frowned upon in those days and almost unthinkable. This is why you saw Andrew have the reaction that he did when Simon first told him his idea about turning in the commercial fishermen. The plan that Simon comes up with, how do you think it's going to work? Let me know in the comments. All right, so now I want to get into Mary Magdalene and talk about her a little bit because she was the primary focus of this episode. So the name Lilith actually comes from Jewish mythology. The legend of Lilith claims that she was the first woman created equally with Adam. And when Adam demanded that she be subservient to him, she refused and left the Garden of Eden. After leaving, Lilith is said to have become a demonic figure, birthing demons, seducing men in their sleep, and she is associated with infant mortality and is said to have sworn vengeance against Adam's descendants. Mary herself seems to have moments of clarity where the demons seem to at least let her alone or not be active at that time. Even her one friend Rivka says to Nicodemus when he shows up that she's an angel when she's not having these spells. It seems like every time Mary comes out of one of these spells, it's from the memory of her father. She gets this vision of her father stating that phrase from Isaiah over and over and over again. It is depicted in the episode that Mary was abused, possibly even sexually abused by a Roman soldier. So that is why in the one scene when the gleam of the Roman soldier's helmet pretty much causes Mary to have a little bit of PTSD and kind of starts a new episode when she sees that gleam from the Roman soldier's helmet. So that's what was going on there.